In this video, we'll examine the types of shots that are commonly used in filmmaking nowadays. A camera shot is the amount of space that is seen in one shot or frame. Camera shots are used to demonstrate different aspects of a film setting, characters and themes. Using them, the filmmaker can manipulate the audience's field of view. As a result, camera shots are very important in shaping meaning in a film. First, let's start with the basics. The first basic type of shot is the long or wide shot. In this shot, the subject takes up the full frame used to show the location, the time of the day, the weather, the setting. It normally shows the human body or some other relevant object significantly embedded in the surrounding environment. There will be very little detail visible in the shot, as it is meant to give a general impression rather than specific information. Mid shot or medium shot. This is the most common type of shot. A medium shot frames a character from their waist and up, appropriate when there is no emotion or any other intensity, and allows room for hand gestures and small movement. Medium shots give the viewer a partial view of the background and also show the subject's facial expressions in the context of their body language. Think of it as a real-life conversation. Close-up. Here the face or any other part of the subject takes up most of the frame. Very good for showing details. This emphasizes on their emotional state. The viewer is drawn into the subject's personal space and shares their feelings. Here the focus is on the subject and related to the surroundings such as background, time of the day and other information. Now let's go one step further to some more types of shots. Extreme wide shot or extreme long shot. Our subject character here is not visible, but we see its surroundings and the individual body is of very little relative significance. Very wide shot or very long shot. A very wide shot is between an extreme long shot and a long shot, where our subject is much closer than the extreme. Here we emphasize on the subject's environment. Both extreme long shot and very long shot contain a significant amount of information, such as weather conditions, time of the day. They contain more information than long shot, given that the character is less significant. Therefore, these shots are often used as establishing shots. Two-shot. Because the frame here is similarly to a mid-shot, a two-shot can be considered a subcategory of mid-shot. Basic difference: this shot encompasses a view of the two subjects and their correlation. The subjects do not have to be necessarily next to each other, which is very often the case. Here size matters, whereas the larger subject is dominant. One more type that can be considered a subcategory of mid-shot is the over-the-shoulder. It is a shot of someone or something taken from the perspective or camera angle from the shoulder of another person. The back of the shoulder and the head of this person is used to frame the image or whatever, or whomever, the camera is pointing towards. This type of shot is very common when two characters are having a discussion or during an interview. Medium-long shot or cowboy or three-quarters. The name comes from its frequent use in westerns. The usual arrangement is for the actors to stand in an irregular line from one side of the screen to the other. The purpose of the composition is to allow complex dialogue scenes to be played out without changes in camera position. Medium close-up. This is a halfway between a mid-shot and a close-up. This shot shows the face more clearly. It frames the subject's head and cuts off around mid-chest. This shot shows the face more clearly without getting uncomfortably close. Extreme close-up or detail shot. The shot is used to show extreme detail. The information the viewer would get from this type of shot would not be visible in another type of shot. It frames just the person's facial features and shows the person's emotions. For objects, it frames only a portion of the object or small objects as a whole. There are some other types of shots that you may encounter and they are in a category themselves. While reaching at the end of the list, we have two more types. From behind. Here you are tracking the subject from behind and your focus is on the subject. The basic difference from over the shoulder is that the focus is usually more on the subject than on what stands in the foreground. Dutch tilt. A Dutch tilt is a camera shot in which the camera angle is deliberately slanted to the one side. This can be used for dramatic effect and helps portray unease, disorientation, frantic or desperate action, intoxication or madness. Next step in mastering the shots is knowing how to use them. Get ready because useful tips are on the way. Establishing shot. It is always the first shot of a scene. An establishing shot introduces a new location. The audience can see all the relevant characters in the scene. It doesn't necessarily mean that we see the character's full body, but just a display of the elements needed for the scene to function. Extreme long shot and very long shot or long shot are the most common types used. Duration of shots. Choose the duration of each shot and manipulate the film atmosphere. The length of the shots is an important consideration that can greatly affect the film. Shots with a longer duration can make a scene more relaxed and slower paced, whereas shots with shorter duration can make a scene seem urgent and faster paced. Change of shots. When you want to change from one shot to the other, do not pick a shot that is giving similar information with the previous one. Choose to jump from a shot that gives information of the subject to a shot that gives information about the context. For example, now we see a scene with change of shots with similar information. Cuts and transitions. Use specific cuts and transitions in order to create impact by changing the shots. More about cuts and transitions can be found on our first video, BTC Lab Video 1. Many more filmmaking videos are coming, so if you found this one helpful, please subscribe and thank you for watching one more BTC Lab. Please let us know any comments below.